Hi, kids. This is Mr. Briggs to talk to you about taking your rocket. Step 4, we're putting it all together. Basically, we're making our recovery system and we're assembling a rocket, our final assembly. So here we go. So we have our rocket here with the fins attached to it. We have a nose cone, which we printed. We have a launch, an engine block, an engine lug that we have been provided for us by Mr. Briggs. It's 3D printed. We have a piece of elastic, a rubber band, and we have a streamer. Okay, so here's our issue. We have this rocket engine. It's going to go into the back of our rocket. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see that engine just fly through the center of a rocket. We need it to be attached here properly. So we need to put this block in. And we need to put the block in at a specific depth. If we put it into shallow, our engine's going to be sticking out the back. If we put it into deep, our engine is going to be mounted too far forward and it could burn up our rocket. So here's how we do that. You either find yourself a dead engine, okay, or you find one of the sticks that we use to make it. Now a lot of these sticks have a line on there, and that line tells you at what depth we want to stick that engine lug in. And all this is a little block that will prevent the engine from going through. Now the trick with this is we've got to get the glue into this engine in such a way that it's not like right up against the edge. So it's kind of tricky. We take our glue, and I put my glue in there pretty darn far, and I make a little circle of it. Now you can use your finger, if you've got a small finger. I like to use like the end of a stick or end of a paintbrush, and I'm just going to spread that around the inside. Okay, so I should have some glue pretty far up in there. Now we've got to work kind of quickly with this, and in one motion. We're going to put the block in there very carefully. Okay, and then we're going to take our stick and we're going to push that block in until the line on the stick. And what that's going to do is that's going to glue our engine block in, okay, in such a way that it will stop the engine from going through. Okay, it's important not to glue this stick into your engine. The next thing we're going to do is talk about parachutes or recovery systems. Now, you can just have a tumble recovery system, but because this is a slightly heavier rocket, tumble recovery isn't the best. We want something that will come down safely. So we're going to use a streamer recovery. And a streamer is just a piece of plastic. We're going to need a piece of elastic here and our nose cone. We're also going to need a strip of paper, about an inch long here, about 3 inches long, an inch wide, 3 inches long. And we're going to assemble our recovery system. So here's how we assemble our recovery system. The first thing we're going to do is attach our nose cone to our elastic. Now I have included a really thick hole here so that I can run my elastic through here and it doesn't get in the way. You may have to drill a hole in there, you may have to add some wire or something to attach it better. But all I'm doing is making sure that my nose cone is really secure. Then I'm going to just take my plastic here and tie it in a knot about halfway down my piece of elastic. So I've got that streamer hanging on there. Now I take my strip of paper, and I need to make what's called a recovery lug. And a recovery lug is just where my thing attaches. And I'm just going to take some glue and spread it over this paper. And I'm going to put my rubber band about halfway down the length of it. And I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to fold it over about a third of the way in. And I'm going to press it down real good. I want a really good bond here. And I'm basically just going to like put some pressure on it, count to 10, and then I'm going to fold it over yet again and count to 10. And again, I'm putting pressure on it because this is what is attaching your nose cone, attaching your parachute, It's probably one of the more vital parts to your rocket if you want to recover it. Okay, and now I've got this piece of paper here. I need to put it inside my rocket. Now I do not want it just at the tip of the rocket, otherwise I won't be able to put it in my nose cone. I want this about an inch of the way in. So I'm going to repeat my process. I'm going to put the glue in there about halfway in. Okay, about an inch of the way in, just a little dab of glue. I overdid it a little bit. And then I'm going to take my finger here, put that in there, and I'm going to press it up against that glue and apply pressure to it. Oh, for a good 30-40 seconds. Okay. So now, now we have our rocket. It is attached. It has a lug in it. It has a parachute attached by the elastic. While everything is drying, I'm just going to put this on the put this someplace safe for it to dry, so that all these pieces can dry and cure and be solid. The last thing we need to do is hot glue a straw on to the side, and that straw is going to be used to attach this to our launch pad. And then you're done.